and classroom procedures, both autonomously and in collaborative with department, faculty, and leaders. She's a workforce pioneer and is playing a very important role in building foundations for next generation of academics. And the skill sets of MAM includes resource development, curriculum design, and assessment evaluation. And the administrative assignments includes course developer and coordinator, SWAYAM, MOOC business environment, and also a former head Department of Management Studies, IIS, and is a coordinator, BWOC, digital marketing, and COST in retail management, and also a coordinator of eCell in National Entrepreneurship Network, and coordinator annual report of IISU, member of IQAC and UGC cell, and also a member of Rishi Project, University of Deusto, confounded by the Erasmus program of the European Union, and also a co-opted member of Board of Studies, Department of Management Studies, and also a member, editorial board, Journal of Commerce, and member steering committee for NAC. So I welcome you on behalf of all the participants of this resource, of this research refresher course, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, roll number 15, for this deliberate describing for myself. And wherever you feel like that you have some questions, you can post the questions in the chat box, and I will try to take up all the questions at the end of the session or in between wherever required. I hope I am audible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will share the screen and I will like to present this session. Is the screen visible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, namaskar and very warm good afternoon to all. I'm thankful to Professor Abdul for inviting me as a resource person. I will also like to welcome you all to today's session, which is on e-content development and MOOCs. We all have been quite familiar with the COVID-19 pandemic and which impacted the education sector a lot. And here came the crisis of teaching children or our students in a way which was never thought of before. So it gave rise to a sudden increment towards e-learning. So the discussion for today's session would be into three parts. Firstly, I will like to take up digital education initiatives. Further, we will proceed to e-contents and then we will talk about MOOCs. Let's start with the first session, which is on digital education initiatives. As I told that during COVID-19 pandemic, we found lots of ways through which we can teach our children, we can connect with them, we can solve out their problems, we can continue with our sessions or the classrooms on a virtual mode or a blended. That also started the inception of PM E-Vidya program on 17th May 2020. It covered all the three areas. It was a comprehensive initiative which incorporated digital as well as online as well as on-air education. And it is supposed that nearly 25 crore school children would be benefited from this eVidya portal. Later, a need was required. A need was looking for that key. Why not we frame some more committees for children with special needs? So such type of committees, 3 committees were framed later in August 2020. Ministry of Education framed these subcommittees, and it incorporated, or it covered 3 main areas where it talked about covering the children with special needs. Uh, it helped out in the promotion and collection of more and more material on its Diksha platform. And as we all know that 2017 was the year when Swayam portal was developed, and inventory was enhanced during this particular time period. So lots of efforts were made by these subcommittees. We all are hearing a lot and lot about NEP 2020. The 5 major pillars on which NEP 2020 is based are access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. Why it is important to understand these 5 basic pillars of NEP, it is important because this 5 guiding pillars will take our youth to the place where they can face lots of national and global challenges in the current future, and they would be able to pass on those, clear those problems, those challenges easily if we make the education accessible to all, equitable for all, and if we make the quality of education at the respectable place where it should be. Moreover, a thought was also given on the affordability and accountability of the education. So, as a faculty member, I, as well as you all, are respected faculty members, we need to think about guiding the students through these 5 basic pillars of NLP. When we talk about today's session, it is all about e-content development that incorporates digital technology. If we look at the NEP 2020, we have some threads over there which are totally focusing on digital technology or its incorporation. Like development of online courses has been covered in the paragraph 10.10 and 21.10. Further, technology-based education platforms such as Diksha and Swayam are covered up in 15.10 and 23.6. Later, in 24.4 thread, emergence of digital technologies has been covered up. And a lot has been talked about digitization of education in NEP. If we talk about the major government initiatives which have been taken up by government in order to make our education accessible for all and easy and affordable for all, government has proposed 12 different areas where government has been working for the development of the content for the students. It is for both type of students, for school education children as well as for higher education students. Diksha, Swayam, Swayam Prabha, E-Pathshala, Nishtha, O-Labs, Virtual Labs, NDLI, OERs, visually impaired and hearing impaired students के लिए special e-content, Mukta Vidyavani and Shikshawani. These are some of the initiatives which have been proposed by government and they are functioning very well. Let's take this session towards some engagement. You can scan this QR code which is available on your screen. You can type Google. If you are not able to scan the QR code, you can type on Google menti.com and it will ask you to enter a code to join. You can enter 41746083 as it is mentioned on the screen, and you will be seeing a question over there. I request you all to answer that question so that we can have a fair idea that how much about these government initiatives you are knowing before joining this session. You can scan the QR code or you can type menti.com on Google spacebar and enter the code mentioned over here.
Could you please show the previous slide?
You just have to answer that whether you have idea of any of these initiatives or not.
No,
It is
Then
just a
here
rough
it is
idea.
asking number of initiatives, not 2, 5,
Okay.
10. That is why.
Okay. Okay. Let's have the results. 2 of the respondents
मैडम कोड फिर से
are
बताएंगे
saying that, okay, 10. Wonderful.
Ma'am, will you please show the code once again?
The code is mentioned over here. You can look at over here on the screen. Is it available? Four 41746083. I hope you are 27 in all. 27 faculties are joining with us. So at least 27 responses are expected.
Ma'am, I'm not able to scan the QR code.
You can type menti.com on Google. You can see it is written here on the screen also. Menti.com. You can type it on Google. It will ask you to use a code. The code is mentioned over here, which is 41746083. No worries because your names are not displayed over here. So you can easily mention the response. You can submit your response easily anonymously. Okay. So are you all able to see the results which are reflected on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the number of the active students? Or we can expect a few more responses from you?
Ma'am, I'm not able to
Okay.
open menti.com actually. I don't know why my browser is not supporting that.
Okay, you can say verbally what your response is. If you would have been submitting the response, where would you be doing that? Which would be your favorable response?
5 of these digital
Pardon?
education
Can you please repeat?
initiatives taken now.
Okay, so now we have a
Ma'am,
clear
the third
idea.
alternative actually.
Pardon? Can you please repeat, ma'am?
Ma'am, it was the third one,
Okay.
the third alternative.
Okay, so today what we are going to do after this engaging session, we are going to have a look at all these 12 initiatives which are taken up by the government. And I hope by the end of this session, you would all be able to pick your responses as here, that you all know the digital education initiatives which are taken up by Government of India. Okay, let's proceed ahead. So the first digital initiative which has been taken up by Government of India is Diksha, which is the acronym for Digital Infrastructure for Knowledge Sharing. As you can see on the screen, it was launched in September 2017 and it is currently supporting 18 plus languages. And lots of digital textbooks and other materials are available here for the students of grade 1st to 12th. So, students as well as their parents can take this advantage of gaining knowledge digitally through this Diksha platform. All the textbooks of NCERT, maps with QR codes are available here. Nowadays, you must have been seeing that few books of the students or your own children are having some QR codes. When you are scanning those QR codes, the e-content is made available to you with the help of those QR codes. Another one is Swayam. How many of you had been aware of Swayam?
I was aware, ma'am.
You all are aware, I believe. Have you done
Yes,
any
ma'am.
courses on Swayam?
Yes, ma'am, I have done
Yes,
one.
ma'am.
So either we have done or we have developed a course for Swayam or we would have asked our students to join Swayam or learn something from this particular portal. We can see here the number of enrollments and the exam registrations. It is showing an increasing trend since the January 23 and July 23. Certifications number and exam registration can also be seen here. And Swayam was launched in 2017. Here, MOOCs are developed keeping in mind the four-quadrant approach. It also covers up 34 online courses by NCERT, which are meant for classes 11th and 12th, as well as we as teachers can also do some FTPs through Swayam. And credit transfer is also very easy through Swayam. The third government initiative which was taken up was Swayam Prabha. Swayam Prabha is actually a group of channels which are available 24 by 7 for students. Educational programs are broadcasted and these content are covered by many national coordinators of Swayam also like NPTEL, IITs, UGC, CEC, IGNOU, NCERT and NIOS. Then we have another digital initiative for education that is ePathshala. You can see here that ePathshala gives access to students, to teachers, educators as well as parents. Mobile app is also available for ePathshala, which has lots of audios, e-publications, flipbooks, and videos on it. And as we all know that digital resources are meant to be opened on any type of digital electronic devices. So ePathshala's resources can be accessed easily through any of the digital device like laptop, desktop, tablets, and smartphones. Resources are available mainly in three languages, which are Hindi, English, and Urdu. Another digital initiative is Nishtha, which is meant for National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers Holistic Advancement. It has 4 different levels, which are elementary level, secondary level, foundational literacy and numeracy, and early childhood care and education. Here we can see that digital initiatives which are taken up by Government of India are taking up care of not only higher education students but also students from grade 1 to 12. Another interesting initiative is OLabs. It takes labs to your home. All the students from different areas where practical or interactive simulations are required, the content is prepared and shared with the students through these OLabs. Wherever students are facing any issue related to scarcity of the resources in the schools or something like that, they can easily take help of these labs and learn a lot with the help of these videos. Then we have virtual labs. Virtual labs are again helping us in a lot many areas. Here you can see on the screen we have participating institutes which can help us in gaining more and more knowledge. These are the some areas where you can find up your own area and you can take advantage, or your students can take advantage from these particular virtual labs. They also provide LMS or learning management system, which helps us as a teacher in maintaining the data which is required for evaluating or assessing the students. We all must be using National Digital Online Library, which is also known as NDLI. It has more than 50 million resources and it is currently being taken care by IIT Kharagpur. Another important term which is quite popular these days is OER, Open Educational Resources. Whatever resource which is available to us freely for use under certain conditions is considered as open educational resource. So NROER is a platform which brings in school and teacher education together. It is again under the aegis of Ministry of Education. We can find out lots of videos, documents, interactive modules in NROER. Then we talked about some special need children. We need to be sensitized towards them also. So special e-content for visually and hearing impaired students has been prepared by NIOS. It includes sign languages as well as some talking books which can help out children who are somehow special for everyone. So we need to understand their problem and need to design some content for them which can be easily accessible by them. Another initiative is Mukta Vidyavani, which is broadcasted through radio, and it provides lots and lots of information. Even our institution also has FM 7, which talks about educational things which are related to students, and it helps them in learning a lot. The students themselves can prepare their programs and share with their friends and all. Then we have CBSE podcast Shikshavani, which is also available on the Play Store, and it can help lots of students in learning different things at secondary level of education. So here we end up with the first part, which was digital education initiatives. Any doubts still here? You can raise your hand or type your messages in the chat box. Any questions? In the first part of the session, which was digital education initiatives, please type in your question or any query if you have. Otherwise, we will start with the second part of the today's session, which is e-content. Thank you, roll number 27.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I think all these initiatives are open to everyone.
Yes,
And
anyone can access
and
them.
it's free to enroll, isn't
Yes,
it? Only
yes,
if
yes.
we need the certificates, we need to pay the exam fee.
At times, we just want to gain knowledge. Certificates
Okay.
doesn't matter at times for us because we are in need of looking for knowledge and skill development. If that is the focus, then all the material is available at mostly all the places. Likewise, if we talk about Swayam, you can gain knowledge from any of the places. But if you want a certificate for the same, then you have to pay something.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, let's start with the second portion of this particular session, which is e-content. Excuse me. So we will go through some guidelines which are meant for preparing or development of the e-content, concept, why and how of e-contents, mode of delivery, degree of involvement, how e-contents can be acquired. Then I will take up a case study. For Rishi project, we have developed some e-content and then we can take up few questions. So we talked about PM e-Vidya portal. Later, as we need more and more information, we need more and more knowledge, we need to provide and cover all of the India. So in order to cater the needs of the increasing demand of the e-content, Vidya Dan program was launched and it invited e-learning contributions on 22nd April 2020. If we want to have a look how digital education or e-content can be developed, a few guidelines have been prepared already. I have also shared a few links over here as well as some screenshots for understanding the thing. Like you can see here, this is from CBSE and it talks about how you can contribute in the development of curriculum content. Here you can see guidelines for the development of e-content for children with disabilities. Although it is also covering the e-content for normal children, but the children with disabilities have been taken care more over here. A stress has been given more over here. Now you will see that we are in higher education institution. How would we be making e-content? So you can have a look at the UGC guidelines, which are shared by UGC for e-content development. It talks about lot many things like the eligibility, honorarium, procedure for developing e-content. It also helps us in understanding. If we go through the previous slide, we can understand here that how guidelines are made for the teachers who are developing e-content for the children. If we understand that how the student has been taught through e-content at the lower level before coming to higher education institutions, we would be easily accepting or we would be easily understanding what are the requirements what student would be expecting from us. So we have two sorts of guidelines which are for e-content development, though this is what I could find, it's quite old, and this is another PDF which is guideline for e-content development. Year was not mentioned over here, so I can't say that this is the latest one, but this is definitely the older one. I have again mentioned the link over here. If you type in UGC guidelines for e-content development, you can find out PDF on Google easily. We have been talking a lot about e-content, e-content, e-content. So what is this e-content? We very well know that e-content is electronic content which is available digitally through internet on any of the electronic devices. Now, why we should have e-content? We should have e-content because it is easily available. It is very efficiently used. We can reinforce what all we have taught in the class with the help of e-content. The student in the blended form can come to the class and understand before coming to the class, he can look up those topics and we can discuss easily in the classroom. With the help of e-content, we can receive feedbacks. Students are more involved. These are more appealing to Gen Z if we talked about, because these are the generation which are totally living their life on all the digital platforms. It also reduces cost and it reduces the time and it has a great and faster impact. How would it have been if we would not have been connected through internet, if I would not have been able to deliver you content through online? It would have been reduced it definitely has reduced the cost, because if I would have to travel from Jaipur, Rajasthan to Aurangabad in Maharashtra, or if you would have to travel from one place to another to attend this refresher course, it would have definitely be a costlier issue for us. So here we can see that why it is important to have e-content, how it helps us in achieving more and more of benefits. Then how we are going to deliver. Likewise, if we talk about when we teach in the class, we teach them in the synchronous mode. Right now, we are also in the synchronous mode. If I share PPT with you and tell you that you can go through the material, or I can share a video with you, as we have some videos on the Swayam platform, they are in asynchronous mode, where it is not important that the resource person as well as the learner are present at the same time. What do you think? The learning should be synchronous mode or on asynchronous mode? Please type in the chat box. According to you, what should be the mode of teaching? Synchronous or asynchronous? What you prefer in your classrooms? Do you prefer blended mode, or you go for synchronous only, or you are at times sharing some pre-recorded videos also with your students? Please type in the chat box. Synchronous, synchronous. Both depending on the content. Combination, okay. Okay, let's have a short discussion over here again in the chat box. What types of subject do you think must be taught in a combination of both, wherein we can't rely only on one mode of teaching or one mode of delivery of our lectures to the student? Almost all. Science and humanities. Rule number 15, science and humanities require synchronous mode or asynchronous mode?
I think there
Language
must be
can be
combination
taken
of,
up? Pardon?
like for example, if you're teaching the subjects like history and all, it's
Yeah.
a more monotonous kind of thing. So if you're
Okay.
combining both, the students nowadays are digital natives, so we can grab their attention through these means.
Okay. And someone has written the language part also. So what should be the mode of delivery when we are talking about some language, when we are teaching them some language-based papers?
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah,
Ma'am,
sure,
I feel
please.
that all the technical subjects, like which are very much like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 kind of thing, that
Yeah.
maybe can be taught using asynchronous mode, but where actual interactions are required and lot of emotions maybe are required. So that those kind of maybe courses. So it can be related to technical, like engineering also, or from management also. But the more technical subject can be taught by asynchronous. That is what is my opinion.
Definitely. And it also gives us an added advantage when we are taking technical subjects into asynchronous mode, because it makes the content available with the student at all of the time. So whenever the student is having any sort of doubt, He can easily go through those content again and again and check out the steps or the way how the thing can be done. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So this is an added advantage because this learner can learn at his own pace. Because at times we see students quite sleepy in the class. Ma'am, I'm not interested in attending today's class. I'm feeling sleepy. I had some issues at home. I won't be able to be quite awake in the class. So at times we think that wouldn't be beneficial for them that they sit at their place for some subjects, definitely not for all. For some subjects that they sit at their home and whenever they feel that they are full of energy and they are charged enough to learn, they are ready for the acceptance of learning, that time they can go through those materials which we have shared with them. So here we talked about involvement. So to make the students more and more involved in the class, we need to decide upon how much involvement is required. If we say that we can divide the levels of involvement into three parts: passive, connected, and complex, then we can decide upon that the class should be taken up on the synchronous mode or the asynchronous. Or we can think upon that our content which we are going to develop for the students must be engaging, or if we can just provide them with some content. Okay, let's think of what could be at level 1? What is meant by passive? If we talk about passive involvement, what type of e-content can be shared with students? You can write in the chat box if we want. If we know that this subject requires passive engagement or passive involvement of the students, what sort of e-content can be developed for the students, which is not interactive, right? Can we have a few examples for the same? The content which is not interactive. Okay, what we are doing right now, is it interactive or not interactive? You are connected or you are passive or you are at complex mode of involvement? When we talk about today's session, you people are at the passive mode or connected mode or the complex mode, where you feel yourself at level 1, 2, or 3.
I think in connected mode, because you're making the session interactive, asking us to give answers to few things and think about that.
Great. So this is the reason why we should keep asking a few questions in between. We should make them engaged. We should make them involved. So if we talk about the passive mode or the level 1, we can prepare some PPTs. We can share some ebooks with the students. But if we want our e-content to be on the connected mode, you can use online tests, quizzes, simulations, and one activity which we have done in the starting, the Mentimeter we have used. So it was again a way through which you feel connected throughout the session. When we talk about the third level, which is the highest level, which is the complex level, we talk about LMS or MOOCs. Now comes a very interesting question: how we can acquire e-content. The first option is we can purchase them. At times you would have purchased a few material for your institution, or some rights from somewhere like Coursera and edX. We have to pay for the certification or the knowledge enhancement. Am I right? What type of materials you purchase at your institution as e-content? At times we purchase some case studies also. So whenever we are purchasing something, journals, right? So whenever we are purchasing something which can be used further as an e-content for our students, we call it, this material is purchased. We have acquired this e-content through purchasing. The second way is use of freely available content or open educational resources. YouTube also, we can say, can it be considered as OER? Can we consider the material which is available on YouTube as freely available content or open educational resource? We can consider YouTube videos as OER only and only when they have CC license, Creative Commons license. Then only we can consider YouTube videos or the information shared in OER as OER. The third type is self-production material. I also tried to develop a MOOC for Swayam. So this course is available on IMB. IMB is the national coordinator for this particular course, because IMB is the national coordinator for Swayam courses which are under the banner of management category. So this course was launched in January 2022, and by now some around 25,000 students has been benefited from this particular course. The fourth way through which we can have e-content is through exchange of materials in the network with other institutions. I would like to share one case study over here. What we have developed at our institution is a case study of Rishi. What Rishi is, I will tell you. So this case study has been developed at our institution. So we are a part of Rishi project, which is a project from University of Deusto, Bilbao. So it all talks about internationalization of resources, higher education resources. So we were asked to prepare an assignment over there. So we decided to prepare a MOOC on student learning guides as an assignment for us, and it will definitely help in contributing to the capacity building of human resources. So we are talking about exchange of materials in network with other institutions. So what we have developed at our institution, a student learning guide. This student learning guide be shared by all the partner institutions. We have some 18 or 20 partner institutions. 6 were from Spain, and remaining were from India only. So this student learning guide MOOC is available for all those to access. So this is how we can develop and share our e-content with others also. For this, we thought of that how capacity building can be done. What we are doing is also capacity building. Capacity building can be done through conferences, seminars, open educational resources, discussions, and visits. We can learn a lot by visiting at different places and learn how they are working. We can also include short guides, manuals, documents, and workbooks into this. Checklists and indicators help us in identifying whether we had been able to develop the capacity or we are on the right track or not. So we were given an assignment over here. Then we all know what is OER. OERs can be used, reused, adapted, and shared. Anyone can use them freely without asking for permissions. So we searched a lot on internet through different search engines about what all material is available as OER for capacity building on student learning guide. So we found a few books, some videos, some podcasts, and some research articles which were based on student learning guides. But we were not able to find out very specific things which were meant for student learning guides. So we thought of developing our own MOOC, which is massive open online course on student learning guide. Now, why we have chosen this particular mode of e-content? The number one, as we discussed about right now, we talked about synchronous and asynchronous. So when we talk about MOOCs, most of the MOOCs are on self-paced. It means whenever I feel like that I have to attend this particular course, I want to join, I will join it. The second is the modules can be created within each course. I can add up a lot of content wherever I feel like that it has to be added over here, it can be deleted from here. So I can prepare my own syllabi on the basis of requirement of my learners. Then continuity of learning. At times, we feel that we are stuck up. We don't know much more about today's technology. So MOOCs can help us learning. We can continue adult learning with the help of MOOCs also. And usually in MOOCs, modules are in the form of videos which can be seen easily. The benefit we had at IS University was that we have an audio-visual studio over here where we were able to shoot our own videos. We were able to animate them. We were able to edit them. And this was a very big advantage for us while developing course for Swayam as well as this particular MOOC. So, as I told that we have searched a lot. So we identified that some MOOCs are available which are related to capacity building for teachers. So we identified one on Coursera, which was diversity and inclusion in education. Another one was student assessment. Third one was on Swayam for OER for empowering teachers. I have also added some snippets for this, but there was nothing available on student learning guides. So we thought of preparing a MOOC on student learning guides. So we divided, we planned. Look, planning is very important when we go for preparing any e-content. Why it is important? Because if you are planning in a wrong manner, everything would be go haywire. So we divided some modules, we divided some topics that how it can be done. So we decided to break up this particular topic of student learning guide in different modules. So we took up 13 different modules, which included introduction to SLG, significance, vis-a-vis NEP and OBE, then structure of degree programs, and we talked about competencies, which were generic and subject specific. Then we divided the structure of student learning guide in 3 different parts. Then we took up a few areas, few disciplines where we showcased some examples, one from commerce, CS and IT, psychology, management, and education. So we tried to cover up the areas where student learning guide was formed for the ease of learners, that how as a faculty I can prepare my own student learning guide. So these were some module-wise videos. So whenever you are preparing any e-content, you need to be very clear that how it would be taking up, what would be the linking pins, how you are going to connect one module from the another one. They should not be separated. They must be fragmented in an order, in a such a particular order that you can relate them easily. So here we have some links, some are in process. So we are right now working, a few have been done. So total number, if we talk about the modules, we have 13 modules. We have 13 presenters. Total number of videos were 59. And I'm telling you, it is a Herculean task to prepare a MOOC. Definitely not impossible, but a very difficult one. Videos total which were developed are 36, and the number has been changed now. Only 8 videos are under processing now. Rest has been prepared. See, these are some screenshots from the YouTube where we have uploaded our videos for student learning guide. This is the playlist. Just let me know whether you are able to hear the sound. Is the sound audible to you? Is the sound of video audible? No. Okay, let me.
Ma'am, you are audible. The video is not audible.
Video is not audible. Let me do. So this is the video which has been made by us. This is behind the scenes, just trying to showcase that how, what are the problems, what are the things which we have faced behind the camera, and the actual output is very nice and crisp. But when we are behind the camera, it is quite interesting. Is it audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
madam.
it
Yes,
was.
ma'am. Yes.
और as I mentioned, the title should be clear. हाँ, बस
Continue, ma'am.
बोल शुरू. Per semester, so full stop.
Stop.
Speed ही खत्म. Take a look at an example.
दोबारा लेंगे.
On completion of a course or a module.
दोबारा लेंगे.
This table is a dynamic table.
कोई बात नहीं. Continue roll. This table से ले लो.
ऊपर assimilative से लेंगे. ऊपर नीचे. That is outcome based education. Common strategies may include question and answers sessions.
फंबल हो गए.
और नीचे ले लीजिए. Hope.
So I hope you also enjoyed. So this is the true journey behind how a video is prepared. Let me share the thing again. So this was the lady behind the whole idea, our registrar, Professor Rakhi Gupta. This was our MOOC development team. This was the area where we helped out in instructional designing, and the technical support where our video and animation team helped us a lot throughout the preparation of these videos. And a student of animation and multimedia also helped us in preparing the animations for the videos. So it all was possible because of the teamwork, the training, the accessibility of the resources at the university. So any questions still here? So we are done with the second part of the. You can type in the questions, if any.
मैडम मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है.
जी
मैं कंटिन्यू इन हिंदी मैडम.
हाँ बिल्कुल, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, आप बोलिए.
मैडम जैसे मान लीजिए आपने ये सारी चीज़ें बताई कि इसको
जी
स्वयं पोर्टल पे अपलोड करना है या फिर और मैडम कोई ऐसा
जी
प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है जहाँ पे बहुत ही स्ट्रिक्ट गाइडलाइंस ना हो so that we can upload on that because
अच्छा ये
quality
बताएं.
check and standards are
हाँ
there. So
हाँ नहीं, हम जब ये बात करते हैं, हमने स्टार्टिंग में ही बात की थी एनईपी की, जहाँ हमने बात किया था कि क्वालिटी जो है वो डिलीवर होना चाहिए। तो हम क्वालिटी डिलीवर करने से घबराएं क्यों? हम जब कोई चीज लेने जाते हैं तो क्या हम वहाँ क्वालिटी से कॉम्प्रोमाइज करते हैं?
नहीं मैडम, और फिर एक्सपीरियंस की भी बात है, अभी असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर है मैडम, तो क्या अभी हमको अलाउ करेंगे,
बिल्कुल
वो
कर सकते हैं
परमिशन
सर,
देंगे
क्यों
अपना
नहीं कर
काम?
सकते, बिल्कुल करेंगे। आप प्रपोजल भेजिए, स्वयं पे एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट करके आपको मिल जाएगा। आप टाइप करेंगे ईओआई स्वयं पे, तो वहां पर आपको जो एरियाज हैं जहां पर आप अपना कोर्स डेवलप कर सकते हैं आपको मिलेगा, बिल्कुल। क्योंकि मैंने भी जब डेवलप किया था सर, मैं असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर ही थी, मैं सीनियर असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर थी। तो बस ठीक है, हो गया, करते करते प्रैक्टिस से हो जाती हैं सब चीजें। स्टार्टिंग में देखिए, हम सब ने, अभी हमने आपको बिहाइंड द सीन्स दिखाए कि एक्सपर्ट तो कोई भी नहीं होता सर। कैमरा फ्रेंडली होना, स्क्रिप्ट प्रिपेयर करना बहुत लंबे टास्क हैं, बट इम्पॉसिबल नहीं है। तो अगर आप चाहते हैं, अगर हमारा इनर मोटिवेशन ऐसा है कि हमें ये करना है, तो आप कर ही देंगे। और क्वालिटी तो देखिए डिलीवर करना ज्यादा अच्छा है। अदरवाइज जो मार्केट में जो चीज चलती है वो वही चलती है जिसमें क्वालिटी होती है। तो हम क्वालिटी डिलीवर होगी या नहीं होगी उससे ना घबराएं, क्योंकि हम टीचिंग में हैं, तो हम क्वालिटी ही डिलीवर करते हैं। एफर्ट्स डेफिनेटली थोड़े से ज्यादा हो सकते हैं, पर जब हम अच्छा कुछ करने जा रहे हैं तो थोड़े एफर्ट्स अगर ज्यादा होंगे तो भी कोई बात नहीं।
मैडम एक्चुअली आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट आई कांट बी ऑफ दैट लेवल ऑफ प्रोफेसर्स, दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड क्वालिटी मैडम।
दैट लेवल ऑफ रिसर्च।
प्रोफेसर्स मैडम, जो प्रोफेसर्स लोग हैं अभी उतना
हाँ
एक्सपीरियंस
हाँ
नहीं है, और जो हमारी
हाँ।
वो है क्या कहते हैं, अभी हमारी जो
एक्सपर्टीज।
क्षमता है मैडम, वो अभी
हाँ
उतना
हाँ
नहीं, तो इसलिए कह रहा था
हाँ
मैं।
हाँ। सर देखिए, आप क्लास में जाते हैं, आपके बच्चे अगर आपका पढ़ाना पसंद करते हैं, आप टीचिंग प्रोफेशन में कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं, तो आप केपेबल हैं, आप में क्षमता डेफिनेटली है। हमें सिर्फ उसको थोड़ा सा निखारने की जरूरत है। थोड़ा थोड़ा निखारते चले जाएंगे तो वो चीजें अपने आप अच्छी होती चली जाएंगी। एक बार रिसर्च, हम लोग रिसर्च पेपर भी तो लिखते हैं, कितनी बार जर्नल में रिजेक्ट होते हैं सर? आपके होते हैं
बिल्कुल
या नहीं
मैडम।
मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन मेरे तो दो चार बार तो हर बार होते ही होते हैं। फिर शायद तीसरी चौथी बार में जाकर के हमें समझ में आता है कि ओके व्हाट इज एक्सपेक्टेड, और फिर हम उसको उस तरीके से वापस प्रिपेयर करते हैं। तो रिजेक्शंस तो लाइफ की नॉर्मल चीज है, उसको पॉजिटिव में लीजिए कि अच्छा इस कारण से रिजेक्ट हुआ था, तो चलिए कोई बात नहीं, दोबारा से कंटिन्यू कर लेते हैं, कोशिश करते हैं फिर से इसको शुरू करने की। और
जी
आपको
थैंक
कहीं
यू
भी
मैडम।
किसी तरह की सपोर्ट की जरूरत है, कोई गाइडेंस की जरूरत है, तो आप मुझे ईमेल कर दीजिएगा, जितना मैं आपको हेल्प आउट कर पाऊंगी। आपका एरिया क्या है सर?
मैडम एजुकेशन।
एजुकेशन है, तो जहां तक मैं आपको समझा पाऊंगी या जहां तक मैं आपके साथ कुछ नॉलेज शेयरिंग कर पाऊंगी, आई विल ट्राई टू डू दैट। एक स्टेप उठाइए सर, हो जाएगा।
थैंक यू मैडम।
एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस? अच्छा, आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने मूक पर, स्वयं के ऊपर कोई मूक कोर्सेज किए हैं? कितने किए हैं, जरा टाइप इन करिए। Four certified and four, great, four continuing, wonderful. I have done a course in swam. Okay, wonderful.
हाँ मैडम,
Yes.
वो जो स्वयं पे जो रहता है कोर्सेज,
हाँ जी।
उनका जो स्टैंडर्ड होता है कि क्वेश्चन
हाँ जी।
पूछने का, वो
हाँ
काफी
जी।
हाई होता है।
दोबारा रिपीट करेंगे मैम प्लीज?
उनकी जो स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ आस्किंग द क्वेश्चन सर मीन्स टू डिफिकल्ट, मीन्स
हाँ हाँ।
we have to prepare very lot of, then we can qualify that particular certificate course. I
हो
have
जाएगा।
completed
हाँ।
I completed two courses from SWAYAM.
हम्म।
So I just my experience is that they ask very high quality questions, but that's
Mm-hmm.
good. That's good. Means I am not complaining about that, but the quality is very good. Means very good quality of SWAYAM courses.
हाँ, देखिए मैम, अगर कोई चीज चल रही है, हमने अभी जैसे स्टार्टिंग के अंदर देखा था कि स्वयं पे कितने रजिस्ट्रेशंस होते हैं, कितने कोर्सेज हैं, कितने सर्टिफिकेट्स जाते हैं, तो वहां हमें समझ में आ जाता है कि इनिशिएटिव तो अच्छा है, काफी लोग उससे बेनिफिटेड भी हो रहे हैं। 2017 से चल रहा है और अभी भी कंटिन्यूड है, हर बार कुछ नए कोर्सेज हमें देखने को मिलते हैं।
Yeah.
तो हम भी तो यही देखते हैं ना, हमारी क्लास में जो बच्चे होते हैं वो कुछ पास हो जाते हैं, कुछ रह जाते हैं,
Right.
टीचर तो वही है, टीचर तो
Right.
वही रहता है।
हाँ. But that
अच्छा,
initiative,
आपने, हाँ जी,
that initiative is very good, ma'am.
तो व्हाई शुडंट वी कंट्रीब्यूट टू दैट इनिशिएटिव? अच्छा, अभी वो जो सर पूछ रहे थे कि सर अगर आप वहां नहीं बनाना पॉसिबल हो पा रहा है आपके लिए, तो आप अपना एक यूट्यूब चैनल बना लीजिए, वहां पे अपनी छोटी छोटी वीडियोस बनाइए और डालते चले जाइए।
Yes.
दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी डन। या अगर आप में से कोई कंप्यूटर एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, वेबसाइट डेवलप कर सकते हैं, तो अपनी खुद की एक वेबसाइट डेवलप करिए और उसके
Yes.
ऊपर अपना ई कंटेंट जो है वो डालते चले जाएं।
Right.
जहां चाह है राह तो मिल ही जाएगी।
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
अच्छा, अब आप सबने कुछ कुछ कोर्सेज किए हैं, उन कोर्सेज का बेस्ट पार्ट आपको क्या लगा? इट मे बी द मोड ऑफ डिलीवरी, इट मे बी डिस्कशन फोरम, इट मे बी द questions that they have asked, it may be the way they teach, it may be the animation। तो आपने जो भी कोर्स किया है उस कोर्स का नाम और उसमें आपको क्या अच्छा लगा और क्या बुरा लगा, दो चीजें प्लीज चैट बॉक्स में मेंशन करिए। स्वयं पे जो कोर्स आपने किया या कोई भी ऑनलाइन कोर्स अगर आपने अटेंड किया है तो उसके बारे में सबसे पहले उसका नाम दीजिए एंड देन मेंशन उसमें आपको क्या अच्छा लगा और क्या आपको उस कोर्स में खराब लगा। संतोष पाटिल जी, ई टेक्स्ट ये आपके कोर्स का नाम था जो आपने अटेंड किया था? वेरी गुड, ठीक है। डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में क्या अच्छा था क्या बुरा था, प्लीज ये भी बताइए। रोल नंबर 15। हमारी क्लास में कुल 4 या 5 ही बच्चे इन्वॉल्व हैं, यानी लेवल ऑफ इन्वॉल्वमेंट हमारे यहाँ पैसिव वाले जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं या पैसिव वाले जो लर्नर्स हैं वो शायद ज्यादा हैं, लेवल 2 वाले कम हैं। Practical orientation and the way of presentation as well as the challenging assignments. Okay. अच्छा, फिर क्लास की कैसे शुरू करें? रोल नंबर 1 आपका सबमिशन दीजिए, रोल नंबर 2 सबमिशन दीजिए। जैसे अभी सर ने अटेंडेंस लिया था, सिर्फ 3 या 4 रोल नंबर या लोग हमें एक्टिवली इन्वॉल्व दिख रहे हैं यहाँ पर। कि आप लोग मतलब बहुत सेटिस्फाइड हैं जो कोर्सेज आपने किए थे उसमें, आपको तारीफ का भी नहीं लिख रहे हैं, कुछ कमी भी नहीं लिख रहे हैं, ठीक है। सर क्या हम अभी सेशन कंक्लूड करें और 5 के अराउंड दोबारा स्टार्ट करें? Give me a minute. Okay, so we will conclude the session 1 over here and we will continue another session at 5. Okay, so we will meet again at 5 p.m. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
so the next session is at 5 o'clock.
मैम ने तो वैसा बोला है मैडम, अभी क्या मालूम कैसा।
फ्रीच आहे ना 2017 पासून 18 पर्यंत 17च्या अगोदरचे ते काढायलेत लोक हे अप्रूव्हल वगैरे तिथं पण द्यायचे पण काढायला सर पण बॅकडेट मध्ये काढतात ते मध्ये काढायला पण त्याच्यात काय कॅन्डिडेट कसं आलं माझ्याकडे काढला आता तो इकडे फेलोशिप घेणारा असतो कुठेतरी सीएसबी करत बसलेला असतो या 22-23 पर्यंत त्यांचे भविष्यात प्रॉब्लेम असत ना काय पैसे भरून देते त्याला असा प्रकार ते दिले तर त्यांना ते 60% 20% भेटत
पण ही जी प्रोसेस आहे परीक्षांमधून पवित्र पोर्टल हे थोडस
मेंटर म्हणून आपण नोट बाकीच्यांना जे आले ते
काय परिस्थिती झालं का
तर ते ना सपोर्टच करत नाही आता
मग आता
याच्यात एक झाला दुसरं पण
परत घेऊ काय मग ते याच्यावर कॉम्प्युटरवर कॅमेरा ओपन करून
व्हिडिओ आहे माझ्या फोन मध्ये व्हिडिओ डिलीट वगैरे काहीच नाही तो ते काहीतरी सपोर्ट करत
मग तुझ्या तुला अपलोड कर ना माझं युट्यूबला डायरेक्ट माझं युट्यूब ओपन करून अपलोड कर ना काय फरक पडतो अपलोड कर ना मग आपल्याकडे सोल्युशन
पाठवलं टेलिग्रामला माझ्याकडनं तिच्याकडे गेला येतात येत नाही
परीक्षा कुठे गेली आपली अरे हमारा टर्म खत्म हुआ ना, तुम्हारा तो नहीं ना। हमारा
Hello. Is it break, sir?
Yes, sir. It's a long break.
49 पाहिजे तुमच्या.
Shall we start the second session?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So hope I was able to enhance a bit of your learning in the previous session.
Yes, madam. Yes, a lot.
So let's continue with our session. And the third portion which we are going to discuss is MOOCs. The flow would be like, let's first have an idea about what are MOOCs, why we need MOOCs, the platforms which offer MOOCs generally, a case study from amongst the platforms what we have, the four-quadrant approach, and the process through which you can develop a MOOC, and some quick tips, and then we will end up with some questions. As we all know that MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Courses, and they are very useful when we are going to talk about accessibility, to make all those lectures, all those people available to those who can't reach to those resource persons. Like if we say everyone cannot go to IIM for study, but if the lectures of IIM are available to us, it would be quite helpful for us, for our students, if we can go through them, we can learn from those people who are sitting at the top branches. Then we will like to know that why we should have MOOCs. We also can learn a lot from MOOCs as they will help us in refreshing our knowledge. We can develop new skills, as we talked earlier also, that it is not necessary that everything we are doing is for certificates. At times, we are willing to get some knowledge, some new areas are open towards us. We will like to know more and more about them. It is not important that certificate or examination part we are going to take up. It is only that we want to get something new, we want to learn something new, then MOOCs can help us a lot. During our graduation time, some of us would have faced this problem or this situation or dilemma that I want to go for this subject as well as this subject, but I have to pick any one of them. So, more or less, this problem has been sorted out by CBCS, which is choice based credit systems, also. But what we would be doing, so if we have any area of interest which we had not been able to cover up till now, we can learn with the help of MOOCs or any other e-contents which are available to us. And definitely, as we discussed, FDPs, refreshers, and all other areas through which AICT has developed some MOOCs, they are helpful for us in our professional development also. Not for us, but also for students, as their CV would be highlighted if they have learned something extra, something more than their batchmates. So, if a student is going for some MOOCs, in addition to what they are learning in their course curriculum, it would definitely give an added advantage to them. So, if we have a look that MOOCs give us an access to higher education, which is provided at different institutions, in higher education institutions, which are not available in our region, but at national level or at the international level, we can have an access to the higher education. MOOCs are usually affordable. Why I'm saying affordable word? Because uh, as we discussed previously also, that a few of the courses are available free of cost totally. But for some of the courses, we have to pay a minimum amount of fee for certification or giving the examination. They are flexible because they can be learned at the self pace. Whenever we are having ease of learning, we can go through them. We can earn credits and certificates. Now we know that UGC has created ABC, Academic Bank of Credits. Swayam also helps us in transferring of our credits throughout the different institutions. Online collaborations. These are the different platforms which offer MOOCs. Udacity, Khan Academy, Canvas, edX, Udemy, Coursera, Iversity, FutureLearn, and Cadence. Apart from Swayam, how many of you have explored any of these platforms which are shown on your screen? How many of the digital platforms or the platforms where MOOCs are available, how many of you have been through any of these? You can type in your response in the chat box. Udemy. I couldn't get the number 4. Which 4 you are talking about? 4 platforms. Can you name them, please? Swayam, Udemy, edX, and Coursera. Wonderful. What was the common thing? As a few people are saying that they have been through 4. Throughout your journey through these 4 digital platforms, what was the difference you find out, or what were the similarities? You can just unmute yourself if you can, and please share your experience. It's roll number 12, I believe, or Ram Kalani ji.
Some were self-paced,
Hmm.
and somewhere, I mean, they were structured and time limit was there. Like Swayam courses, they have time limit.
Yes.
And one of the course which I did on Coursera, I think so, it was long back quite, but then had quite a long time interval was given to complete that course.
Mm-hmm.
And it was self-paced kind of.
Yeah, and you can adjust your timelines. You can
Yeah,
extend the
yes,
timeline
yes,
also.
yes.
And Udemy and edX?
Tell you the difference or commonality. Commonality is like they had these video lectures pre-recorded, and the learning materials they had given, and same like some evaluation and assessment, and these kind of things were there, which were the commonalities.
But all these 4 platforms free of cost, or you had to pay?
Yes, I think Udemy was a paid one.
Yes. And Coursera was also
Paid
free
one.
during the time
Swayam
of
are free.
pandemic.
Swayam are free.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead. So, as we talked about, a few portals or a few platforms offer free courses. Like if we talk about Swayam, they will charge you a fee for exam and certification. But if you are going to learn only, if you want to gain knowledge only, or if you want to learn some skills only, you don't want to go for examination and certification, then Swayam is totally free. Canvas is also free, but again, fee for exam and certificates. Coursera, most courses are free, but certificates again are available at different prices. So you can see over here, more or less, the platforms are delivering content, they are delivering knowledge and learning to you. So knowledge is shared in all of these platforms. Some are payable, some are free of cost. In some cases, there is some hidden charges also meant for the students or learners. So let's take up the Swayam as our second case study. So what is Swayam? Swayam is the study web of active learning for young aspiring minds. It is again an initiative of Government of India which aims at lifelong learning. When we talk about OBE, outcome based education, we also talk about lifelong learning. The student or the learner should learn throughout the life, and the learning should go on in different manners. We also at this phase are learning a lot. So if we want to learn, Swayam is again an option which is open for us. It also makes a student self sufficient in learning without any physical infrastructure. The student need not visit IIM Bangalore or IIT Kharagpur to learn some course from some particular lecturer or some particular professor. They can sit at their home. They don't need to travel from one place to another to gain knowledge from the learned people. Who can register? Any individual in the world can register. I hope you all would be knowing that Swayam offers its courses beyond India also. A few centers are there from where people can register themselves in the courses on Swayam also. What we need, the only eligibility criteria is that you should be more of the class 9 or onwards. When? Recently, someone said that some time frame was there. In some courses which are based on the credit, which are based on the examination, they are definitely time framed. Some courses are free of that time stipulations. More or less, Swayam courses are self-paced. Some courses are available throughout the year. Some courses are available only one particular semester, like some courses are open in January only, some courses are open in July only, and few institutions, few national coordinators make courses available in both the semesters, in both the cycles, say in January as well as in July. So if you want to opt for a course, you have to look out whether the course would be available only in one particular cycle of the January or in the July one, or it is available in both the cycles. Where anyone can go for Swayam courses, even sitting at your home, you can continue with your learning. It is not restricted. The only thing which we require, even right now, what we are doing, a few of you who would be at your home, I am also at my home right now. Previously, I was in my campus and now I am at my home. So, even then, we can connect ourselves, we can learn, we can share a lot because we are connected through some device and a internet connection. The same way, Swayam courses are also online available and it can be accessed through desktop, laptop, tablets, or mobiles. Why? As discussed previously, it will help us in learning our new things, enhance the knowledge, skills, and certification, the most important part for students as well as for us also at times, and it adds a value to your profile because these are the courses which are promoted by Government of India, Ministry of Education. How? Firstly, we have to register ourselves on the Swayam portal. What all we need there? We just need our name and email ID. All that is required on the registration for Swayam courses. Let's have a look how it can be done. We just type Swayam on the Google. We end up at this place. We can click over here which says swayam.gov.in. A few of you had said that they have not done any courses, any MOOCs till now. So they can take advantage and have a look how they can register themselves on Swayam portal. Or you can guide your students, you can help them out. If you have been through all this process, you can also help your students in learning how they can take advantage of different Swayam courses and gain and experience new type of learning. So this is the page which opens up when we open Swayam platform. Here we can see about Swayam, all courses, national coordinators and local chapters. From many institutions are local chapters for Swayam. Is your institution a local chapter for Swayam? My institution is a local chapter for Swayam. Do you know that your institution is a local chapter or not? Do you have any idea regarding this? Local chapters?
No, madam.
You can type in the chat box. Is your institution a local chapter for Swayam courses or Swayam? No, no. So you can ask the management or the administration that they can register themselves as a local chapter. It will be beneficial for you as well your students to gain quick knowledge, and quick dissemination of information is done with the help of local chapters. We will talk about this national coordinators part in a while. So we can see here that statistics of Swayam. 203 Partnering Institute. It means there are 203 institutions whose faculty have developed MOOCs for Swayam. This is the number of the completed course on Swayam. This is the student enrollment and this is the exam registration. We can see here the difference. The difference shows that a few people had registered only for knowledge. They had not registered themselves for examination. They have registered themselves in the courses but not registered for the examination. As talked previously, as shared by you people, that examination is tough. Yes. So successful certification and exam registration number varies. The variation may be because of not able to clear the examination, as well as there might be some sort of absenteeism in the examination. We talked about national coordinators. So we have 9 coordinators. These national coordinators have different domains which they are covering up. When we talk about AICT, these are self-paced courses or international courses, and many of the FTPs for faculty are from AICTE. Another national coordinator is CEC, which takes care of undergraduate education. Another one is IGNU, which is taking care of the school students who are not continuing their school. They are now out of the school, or those who don't want to take admission in the colleges can also opt for courses which are offered by IGNU. IMB, as I shared previously also, that my course is meant for the students who are for commerce or management studies. So I sent my proposal, my course proposal to IIM Bangalore. NCERT and NIOS are meant for school education. So difference over here is that Swayam takes care of both school education, out of school education, as well as higher institutions. NPTEL is specifically for engineering, but if you visit their website, you can find out that few managed courses are also available at NPTEL platforms. UGC is for non-technical post-graduation education. So these 9 national coordinators serve different areas and they serve different type of purposes. Let's take a look at the page, how it looks like when you enter into a course. Here I can see this is the Swayam. This is IIM Bangalore because the coordinator, national coordinator for my course is IIM Bangalore. Here is a tab which talks about sign in or register. So whenever I am going to enter inside any of the courses, I have to first register myself, and if I have already registered myself, then I have to sign in. Here we can see the title of the course. The course is Business Environment. Here is the name of the coordinator, Chhavi Jain, as I have prepared and developed and coordinating this particular course. And my university name, as deemed to be University Jaipur, is mentioned over here. So it clarifies that course is being submitted at IIM Bangalore. It is the national coordinator, but the certificate for the course would be given from the IS deemed to be university, though the certificate would have the sign of the national coordinator also. Here we can see the number of learners which were enrolled in the course. 10,481 number of learners were enrolled. From here, we can check out the summary of the course. It gives you a quick idea. Course status, ongoing. Course type is core. It may be elective also. Duration of the course, usually the courses which are available on Swayam are in the range of 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. And now they have also proposed some 10-week courses. Here the category is, here it is coming under management studies. Credits. We all know that we earn credits when we go for some classes. How many credits are for 15 hours? How many credits we can get? You all are faculties, you all must be knowing that after teaching 15 hours of a theory paper, how much credits a student can earn? Fifteen hours equals to how much credits?
Two credits.
2 credits. Anyone else?
No.
Can you repeat the
15
question?
hours.
Can you repeat the
15
question?
hours equals to how many credits?
One credit.
1 credit. So when we teach our student for 15 hours, that is converted into 1 credit. So here we can see that 4 credit equals to how many hours?
60 hours.
60 hours.
60.
So
One
this
paper.
is how we can, wonderful. This is how we can calculate the credit points of that particular course. We can match it to our syllabus, the credits which are offered in our papers, and we can sequentially balance that out. Here we can see the level of the paper or the course, undergraduate or postgraduate. Why it is mentioned undergraduate or postgraduate, although it doesn't matter a lot. Some undergraduate students also can opt for a paper which is offered for postgraduate students and vice versa. Start date. This course had started on 31st January 2023 and the course will end on 30th April 2023. So dates are mentioned. So as we talked previously that they are strictly into a time duration. So this course will start at this particular time and end at this particular time. Enrollment usually open for January courses. Enrollment usually opens somewhere between end of October or November and it closes on for this particular course, for this particular cycle, the enrollment was ended on 15th March 2023. Right? This is a course overview video. Let's go ahead. So if I have to look, yeah?
Last slide, previous slide, please.
Yes.
So the course is starting on 31st of January, ending on 30th of April. Okay, so in between also till 15th March, anyone can join.
Yes, anyone can join in and the assessments would be taken up later on because till 15th March, assessments would not be submitted.
Okay.
Kindly check the enrollment end date whenever you join a course because for some courses enrollment ends quickly as well as when you have joined the course it is mandatory that you submit the assignments or quiz also in time. If you are not able to submit the quiz in time you may lose your semester end marks. Shall we go ahead? Any doubts still here? Okay, so if I want to look for a course, where should I go for? As we go in the library or we search anywhere, we have a catalog. So here also we can have a look at the catalog. It is providing us with the down arrow key. All the courses can be seen by clicking on this all. Otherwise, whenever we are talking about being a faculty, we are looking for some refresher courses, we can have a look at the courses over here. These are self-paced course. We can have a look at architecture and planning, engineering and technology, health sciences, humanities and arts, law, management and commerce, maths and sciences, NPTEL domain and school. All these options are available to us whenever we are clicking on the course catalog. After clicking this area, you can find out the area of your interest. Like if I click on humanities and arts, these all are the options which are available to me, wherein I can find out the subject of my interest. If I go for management and commerce, I can look over here and find out. You can scroll it down over here. There are some more options available over here. Because of the paucity of the space, I have taken this screenshot, and more or less, you can see lots of options mentioned over here. On clicking any one of the options, you can have it identify and know what all courses are available in this particular domain. Maths and sciences, we have again lots of options. Applied science, biotechnology, botany, chemistry, computers. NPTEL domain, which we talked about, engineering courses. So all these engineering courses are available in the domain of NPTEL. We talked about these national coordinators. We can submit our credit transfer grievances over here. SWAYAM courses in regional languages are available here. Then we have results. Examination was held on so and so date, and the results are available over here. Herein you can see the admit cards availability announcement. UGC has already issued credit framework wherein the academic record of the students can be shared, where credits can be transferred from the SWAYAM. So whenever a student is opting for a paper on SWAYAM, his or her credits can be transferred and shared or reflected on the transcript or the report card of the student under the regulation of UGC 2016. In the slides where we were talking about MOOCs or SWAYAM, we talked about 4-quadrant approach, which are video lecture, reading material, self-assessment, and discussion forum. This again we are going to take up further. So first, how to do this? We can register ourselves by clicking on this sign in red tab. It is beneficial either you download the app on your mobile. SWAYAM also has its app on the Play Store, or you can register yourself through Google in order to save the your efforts every time. You can log in yourself through Google also. So I entered my personal details. Whenever we click in, at first we have to complete our profile. Year of graduation, ABC, your degrees, then study year, then this. Look, I talked about local chapter. So our local chapter state is Rajasthan, and our university, as deemed to be university, is a part of local chapter. So we have selected it over here. This we have already discussed, that how you can go through the summary of the particular course. Now, I have registered myself days back. Now, where should I find my course? So whenever I log in, I can click on this down arrow and I can find my courses over here. And when I click on my certifications, I can see my earned certificates at this particular tab. My courses are all those courses which you have registered and joined. When we go inside the course, we can see on the left-hand side a course outline where week 0, week 1, 2, 3, 4 and the topics are visible. Like we have announcements in our campuses, PS systems are usually used for making announcements, but because this is a digital platform, so announcement tab is used to create announcements for learners. Welcome to week 4 and 5 and what all information is required for students, either be it for their exam registration, their availability of admit cards, availability of admit cards, result declaration, assessment due dates, all are declared here in the announcement tab. About the course, ask a question, progress, mentor, and review assignment are the other tabs which can be served upon. We talked about the 4-quadrant approach where we talked about the discussion forum. So whenever you are having any query, like right now we are using the chat box. So this ask a question is the chat box for us where we can connect or the student can connect themselves through the team who is coordinating the course or who is handling the back part of the course. You can post your question over here and the course coordinator will respond you through this particular tab. Now, interesting part. How a MOOC can be created. How many of you are interested in learning?
We are interested, madam. We have already studied 2 or 3 books from RP.
Okay.
And we have passed the examination also, received the certificate.
Great. Great. Okay, let's take our journey ahead. So we talked about the 4-quadrant approach, which is mandatory for any SWAYAM course. What is this 4-quadrant approach? So whenever you are planning for preparing a content for MOOC on SWAYAM, you should strictly follow this 4-quadrant approach. The first quadrant talks about the creation of video and audios. Teaching content which could include teaching video and audio in organized form, animation, simulations, video demonstrations, virtual labs, interviews, etc., along with the transcription of videos. This all should be taken care in the quadrant 1. So while preparing a course, you can't miss out the quadrant 1. You have to anyhow incorporate some audio and video files for the learners. Then comes our second quadrant, which talks about the references, essential learning or additional learning part. Here, you can create some content, some case studies, some material for the students, which will help them in enhancing their knowledge in addition to what they have learned in the quadrant 1. The second quadrant is references or further learning resources, which typically is a web page with curated hyperlinks to relevant quality contents across the internet, like self-instructional materials, ebooks, illustrations, case studies, open source content which is available freely on internet. Some research papers and journals can also be shared with students, but again with due permission of the author. anecdotal information, historical development of subjects, articles, etc. So we have covered two quadrants. Quadrant 1, which includes audio and video files. Quadrant 2, which includes some essential or additional learnings or some references. The third part or the third quadrant talks about the discussion forum, which we saw previously written as Ask a Question. This is the discussion forum for raising doubts by learners and providing clarification on a near real-time basis by the course coordinator or the team members. At times, if you would have been on the Swayam portal for any of the courses, in some courses we feel like that whenever we post any query or any question or any doubt in the discussion forum or ask a question part, 8 times no one responds to us. And we feel quite bad. So it is the duty of the course coordinator or his team to answer the questions which are shared in the discussion forum. And the fourth, most important quadrant is of assessment. Because if we are going for learning, we need to check whether we have learned or not. Assessment and evaluation are very important part of learning. So this quadrant talks about problems and solutions, which can be in the form of MCQs, fill in the blanks, matching questions, short answer questions, long answer questions, quiz, assignment and solutions, clarifications or general misconceptions, and one more thing which we are looking these days, which is peer review. Any idea about what is peer review? Have you been utilizing this peer review in any of the areas? Have you seen this peer review?
Okay. We have published the journals in the peer-reviewed journals.
Okay. Have you ever utilized this in your classrooms? Or in any of the courses? Usually Coursera has lot many examples of, we can find many examples of peer review at Coursera. Now few courses of Swayam also have opted for peer review.
Means the contents are evaluated by the experts.
No, not experts. Within the classroom, suppose if you you distribute the test paper of one student to another student and ask them to evaluate that.
Yes.
That is peer review.
That could be peer review, right?
Okay. So what it helps the students in critical thinking. What they had written, what should have been written, and how much marks should be given over here. For that, it is important that we make rubrics. Any idea about what are rubrics? Is any of
rubrics are the criteria on the basis of which
So are you using them in your classes?
Yeah, when we are assessing their assignments, we do.
Yes. So when you have rubrics, when you have defined, you have shared the rubrics, then you can easily pass on the assessment task or the evaluation task to the students only. They can help you out by peer review in the evaluation of the assignment. Because you had clearly stated for this much of portion, if you have written, you can get this much of marks. So it is quite fair, quite transparent way of evaluating the performance of a student. So herein we discussed about the 4 quadrants of Swayam. 1 about video and audio. 2nd for the references of further learnings. 3rd is the discussion forum for interactive or engagement or involvement. And the 4th one is the assessment. So when we plan When we have a thought in the mind that yes, I want to prepare a MOOC, so how should we go ahead? The first step is the effective planning. What you should plan, how you should plan, we will discuss that. Writing the script, recording the content, and publishing the content. These are the four major areas where we have to work on. The major issues. Before preparing any e-content, we talked about planning. So before planning, we should know what are the major flaws when we go for any e-content. So let's have a look at the major flaws or the issues or the problems which are usually faced by learners when they are going through any e-content. The e-content may be audio and video, it may be a file, it may be a text material, it may be a podcast. So whatever problems I have taken up, it is from again a document of government only, and I will mention the link over here also. So whatever problems can be creating a trouble for our learners should be sorted out. So let's have a look at the problems, then we will go ahead. Slowing down of system. At times we open the video and we are waiting for it to open. It means there are some issues which should not be there when we have offered something for learning to the student. Then another issue can be improper labeling. Whatever you are showcasing, any figure, diagram, chart, or even text, it should be done with clarity. It should be labeled appropriately. Textbooks are in image format. No audio descriptions for the videos and visual content or PPT. So this will create a problem with those who have some issues with visual appearances. Those who can't see or they have some difficulties in viewing the material, if you are not adding up the audio description, then it might create a problem for them. And when we are talking about e-content, we talked about accessibility for all. We have to take care of all the learners who can access our books. No sign language would be difficult for those who can't understand without sign language. Captions are not there in many videos. At times, we have also felt this problem when we are going through some YouTube videos or other videos, there are no captions available. And these non-availability of the captions may create a problem if we have a typical pronunciation, we belong to a typical dialect where words are very not familiar to us, then we can have this problem. Even watching movies or web series, we feel that if they are having captions, it is much easier for us to understand. Cumbersome apps. Problems encountered while downloading and opening of the files. So whenever you are uploading any content for the learners, keep checking it before uploading and check while downloading. When we have to release our course in the every cycle for Swayam, we are asked, kindly do the quality check before the course opens. This quality check means we have to visit, excuse me, each and every tab. We have to ensure that each tab is opening easily. There is no trouble in opening the file, downloading the file. There are no issues in the audio of the file which we have attached. Video is quite clear. So before launching the course, it is important to go for a quality check. Border of the pages are left unread by the screen readers. Just think of, let me adjust this. What would have been your perception if you are looking at this particular edge? Are you able to read these words properly? The words on the right hand side? Are you able to go through these words? No. Why? Why you are not able to read this? They are hidden. So, whenever we are preparing anything, we should look for the margins. Even when we are working for the videos, there is a quality, there is a safety margin, they call it. So they tell us, don't take your hand outside of this area, because otherwise it will be difficult for the learner to see if it is coming under that area. We prefer not to put any text, any image, anything in that particular area which is demarcated by our video producer. The entire text is not accessible in Word, PDF, and DAISY formats. These DAISY formats are for those who are visually impaired. PDF to text converter is not accessible. Difficult to convert PDF into audio. So this is the problem for those who can't read. Hindi and regional languages, excuse me. Hindi and regional languages are not properly accessible by the screen reading softwares. Inaccessibility of images, graphs, maps, handwriting, etc. Proper description of the images, graphs, diagrams, photographs should be provided while preparing e-learning material. This we also face in our classrooms. At times, the handwriting of the students is quite illegible. Then what we tell students? Write it properly, I can't read it. If I can't read it, I can't grade you. And if I can't grade you, you would not be getting marks. Or when we are submitting papers, research papers at times, so we are told that kindly make the table in the editable format. Don't paste it as image. I hope you all have been through that phases. You all have been got those instructions, or you have been got through those submission guidelines of the research paper also. Screen readers in Indian voice and software compatible to Indian languages are required. Default goes landscape mode while opening PDF book, which makes access difficult with screen reader users. Interactive part shows questions unable to answer the question. And problem of voice clarity and pronunciation. So all these are the major issues which users or learners usually face while going through our e-content. Let's take up the first step which we have discussed, that was the planning. So first, we have to identify who will be the audience. The audience would be students from 9th class to 12th class. The students would be undergrad students, postgraduate students, research scholars, or the faculty. Accordingly, we have to define an understanding level and the course content. What is its educational purpose? We are designing this particular program only for credit, only for knowledge, for skill purpose, or whatever reason you can think of. What are you expecting from the audience after watching or listening the lecture? We have talked a lot about OBE, outcome-based education. So whatever we are doing, we should think upon. What would be the outcome after viewing this, after learning this? How audience will be evaluated? As you are attending this refresher course, your HRDC coordinator must have thought of how they are going to evaluate you. They have designed the course for you. They have thought of that you would be provided with some MCQs. You would be asked to write some essay type questions. Your work would be reviewed by your peer. So all these things should be planned ahead of preparation of the course. Then comes writing and publishing the script. Electronic publication is the area which helps us in identifying what standards are usually established in the market or the industry for publishing your content on the digital platform. Let's have a look. What are the basic guidelines? Logical reading order. It should not be like this. Then when you are reading the content, point number 1 comes, then suddenly comes down to point number 5, and then comes point number 2. So this order is not logical. Or first you are talking about the process and suddenly you talk about some other things. So a logical order should be taken up while preparing your e-content. Presentation and content should be kept separate. Structure should be defined properly. Like we have discussed that I will be taking up my session into 3 different parts, where in first part we are going to talk about digital initiatives. In the second part, we are going to talk about e-content. And in the third part, we will talk about MOOCs. So I had a structure in my mind while preparing this particular course. Use images only for pictures, not for tables or text. Use image descriptions, include page numbers, define the language. Whosoever are working in the areas where you need your equation writers, so you have to use those tools which can help you out in writing the equations. Make interactive content accessible and use only those fonts which are available at every place. How many of you have heard about H5P? H5P. Anyone who had heard of H5P? Searching on Google? No. जिन्होंने coursera पे कोर्स किया है, they would be knowing about that whenever they are watching the video, suddenly a reflection spots come between. And you have to answer that, and without answering that, you can't go ahead in that particular video. Anyone who has observed this in Coursera? A few of you had, yes. So this H5P helps in engaging the learners while viewing online content. Let's go ahead. Recording. This is a very important part. As I shared with you that we have a studio in our campus, which was quite helpful for me while I was developing the course. So the first step while developing e-content is identification of the studio, because without studio, you won't be able to fulfill the criteria of quadrant 1, which talks about audio and video for learners. So for recording videos, we can't use our handphones, mobile phones, because the quality is mentioned in the document provided by Swayam, that this much camera resolution, this much capacity, this thing are required for recording the videos. If you don't have a studio at your place, you can collaborate with those who are having studios, because Swayam pays you for recording the videos also. So if you are not having any facility at your area, you can collaborate or communicate with others who are having this facility with them. Second is, you should have a production team. a director or producer who can guide you, an instructional designer, production assistant, camera persons, multimedia technicians, and editors. So you need a whole team who can work with you all the time while developing the content. Duration of content. Usually a 4 credit course have duration of 20 hours of video and 20 hours of reading. Quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. That sums up to 40 hours of learning for 4 credit course. Presentation technique, it is again described by Swayam that at least 75% of the total duration of each production should use innovative learning techniques like case studies, scenario, animation, analogies, individual or group activities, concept mapping, in-text learning quiz, interactive quizzes with learning modules, discussion forum, multimedia techniques, innovative graphs, live experiments, demonstrations, role plays, and field documentaries. Whatever you are sharing must be plagiarism free. Or if you are taking anything which belongs to someone else, you need to get a written permission from the person whosoever owns that content. Let it be graphics, animation, image, sound clips, video clips, whatever you are using, it should be flag free. Transcription of video. Whatever you are saying in the video should be supported by a transcript in the language which is demanded by the agency for which you are creating the e-content. This annexure talks about the equipment setup and specifications for use in the development of online course. You can see here that where the camera should be placed, how it should be taken care of, where what things should be kept. So they have shared each and everything in their document. Link is shown over here. Otherwise, you can visit the Swayam. You can type EOI. You can find all the guidelines over there. You can check out the Annexure 1 for all the equipments and their specifications for the camera, for the computer, each and everything. For the switcher, each and everything is mentioned over there. Even for mics, everything is mentioned that what should be the specification. These are some other guidelines from Swayam. If you are interested in developing a course, you can go through them. So here I end up my session. Any questions? You can type in your questions and you can ask your questions. No questions?
Ma'am, you spoke about the local chapters in Swayam. Can you just tell us about that?
Okay, let me share the website with you. Wait a minute. Can you see this over here?
Yes.
I typed in Swayam local chapter. This is the tab which I should open up. So these are the local chapters. If you are new, you can click over here and join as a new local chapter. I hope it will help you out.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other thing?
I hope there are no more questions. So
I will like to extend my thanks to you all for patiently listening. And I hope that I would have been able to add up something to your existing knowledge base.
Thank you, ma'am. So can we deliver the vote of thanks? Okay. So it has been a truly enlightening experience, and I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speaker of the session, Dr. Chhavi Jain, for sharing her expertise and knowledge with us. Your presentation on Digital Education Initiative, e-content and MOOC, and behind the scene efforts, and how, why, and when aspects of different e-contents was not only informative, but also very engaging, leaving all of us with a deeper appreciation for this fascinating field of e-content development. Your dedication to this topic is really evident in the passion with which you spoke today. You have presented the details in a very clear and comprehensive manner, ensuring that all the participants could grasp and appreciate the significance of the knowledge shared. So on behalf of everyone present over here, I'd like to express our sincere appreciation for your time, effort, and knowledge, and your willingness to share your expertise has enriched our understanding about e-content. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. And in future also, if any one of you want to get connected or share something with me or want some knowledge sharing, so you can connect with me with the help of our email ID I've shared in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello. Is there holiday tomorrow from organizer side?
Actually, tomorrow is usually Sunday, so it's a holiday, but Monday is a holiday. And the session will be taken for the next Sunday. Compensatory session will be taken on the next Sunday.
What about tomorrow, madam? Then
Tomorrow is Sunday, so it is already a declared holiday. There is no class.
And on Monday?
Monday there will be no class.
Okay,
Directly on
there is no
Tuesday now.
classes. Okay, all right.
So we will join on Tuesday at 10:25.
All right. Shall we leave now?